waiver wire ads, baby. We are high flying, jet plane riding, and limousine riding. Son of a gun. And we're back here to give you some more waiver wire ads, baby. I'm definitely getting a noise complaint on this one. Watch your earlobes, baby. You're probably fucking cranked up. Scatty, I'm hyped up for this. I'm itching to give the boys a little bit of love and try to help this damn fantasy team because I know my shit needs it. What about you, baby?
I really need it. I really hope you listen to that with earphones because your ears just probably got bent over and fucked like my fantasy team this week.
Hey, it is not the first time that has happened to either one of us. So unfortunately, we're used to getting on all fours and looking like a fucking elephant running around here. So, let's get straight into it. Waiver wire ads. This is week 6. And also, reminder, this is PPR. This is 12-man league. And also, 2, I guess we never said, but like also 12-man league, but it's 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a flex. That's kind of how we go. We're going to give some waiver wire ads. If you have any other questions, drop them below. We answer all comments, whether if it's football related, whether if you want to figure out how old your mother is, if you want to figure out, I don't even know, like when, I don't know, when was the Roman Empire built? I'll tell you that. I mean,
if you want to find out what's happening in Israel right now, Matt knows a lot about that.
I know everything. I can tell you everything about Israel, so we'll be dialed in. Yeah. So, Scotty, who's your first person you picking?
Yeah, so it's actually I'm going to do a tandem here. It's the Bears backfield. It's either going to be Roschon Johnson or Deontay Foreman.
Yeah.
There's a lot of unknown there with Roschon Johnson. He only has 37 career NFL touches, so we don't really know much about him other than that he is questionable going into the next week too, so that's why I said Deontay Foreman as well. But Roschon Johnson, you could see him get a lot of use. I mean, do you think the Bears will pass the ball a lot with Khalil Herbert out, or?
I mean, I don't know what's going on, bro. We both completely agreed on selling all Bears players, but I mean, I think, Fields went up, put even up more yards last week. So I mean, it doesn't quite make sense. But Roschon had a lot of hype coming out of the draft. I mean, a lot of people thought he was going to take over Herbert's spot. So I like him in this week if he actually ends up getting past whatever injury that he had this upcoming week. Do you know exactly what it was, that injury he was questionable for?
I think it was a leg. It was like a leg that got caught up. Like he went backwards to catch a pass, and I got caught under him, and it didn't look too pretty. But I think everything's negative, so he should be back in a couple weeks. Yeah. But in the meantime,
and hey, it was a Thursday night game, so he's got a little bit more days to rest. So remember that.
Yeah.
But one of my first ones I'm gonna do. This is more of a stash player. I got a couple of stash players, but it's gonna be Keaton Mitchell, and it's the guy for the Ravens running back room.
I picked him up too last week.
Did you? Yeah. I think he's a great stash. Right now, it's kind of everywhere. I mean, you got Gus Edwards as the head back in this backfield, so there's nothing to be afraid of right now. And I think Melvin Gordon's even in the mix too. I mean, they're really just kind of getting a little bit of a committee going on, trying to put people in there. And he's coming off IR, and I don't know exactly if he is going to be implemented anytime soon or what the deal is. Last time I saw that he did a little bit of practicing with the team and started up, but he wasn't suited up for the game in week 5. But great stash if you need some little help in RB. And also, too, I mean, going into bye weeks, you're going to need some help. So possibly this guy might mature over time, and it can help you out.
Yeah, another one I'd say is if he's not been picked up yet is Tajay Spears for the Titans.
Ooh.
He's been really good this year. Well, not this year, but I mean, he's been good for being a waiver wire ad, and especially this week, he put up 17 fantasy points. And it doesn't look like, I mean, Derrick Henry's kind of a declining fantasy running back, so you could look to pick up Tajay Spears. There's no excuse for you not to pick him up if he's not already taken. I think with Derrick Henry's age and overall production, Tajay Spears could be a fresh back that maybe Mike Vrabel is looking to give a chance to.
Yeah, if you believe the Tennessee Titans are going to be behind in most games, pick up Tajay Spears because Derrick Henry is not the game script for behind games, especially now in his career.
Yeah.
Tajay Spears is the opposite. He is the guy who's going to be pass catching. He's got explosion. He's doing that. That's the guy you want. So if you believe in that, definitely pick him up. And I'm going to roll into another stash. If someone has not already stashed him already, one of my work leagues, someone has not stashed him. I shouldn't say one of my work weeks, my only work league. Jeff Wilson. And I have him right now stashed. He is on IR, and he is coming back sometime soon. I'm not sure exactly when it is. They haven't pinpointed it yet. But look at A-Chain, look at Mostert. And I think they were talking about today, I was listening to a podcast, they were talking about the best the best team on turf, Kurt Warner back in 2000. They were talking about how many yards they put up in them early weeks, and the Miami Dolphins has already passed that. Their project, I think they hit around 2000. Around I think it was week 6 or something like that. It was like week 6 or week 5, but Miami already hit over 2,000 yards going into week 4, and not even finishing in week 5 yet. So this team is explosive. They're moving the ball. They're scoring a lot. So I mean, Jeff Wilson, I think, would take the lead over Mostert, in my opinion. And that's kind of what he did a little bit last year. So A-Chain's still going to get his own, but I would like Jeff Wilson possibly around the goal line, and I think that could be a good stash for you to fill some teams.
And another good player you could pick up this week is Justice Hill for the Ravens.
Yeah.
Potentially with Keaton Mitchell not playing, like you said, and he's really only competing with carries with for that backfield with Gus Edwards and Lamar Jackson in terms of rush yards. So
Yeah.
he could potentially be a guy you want to play, and he's really touchdown dependent too. He put up 12.5 points this past week against the Steelers, and I feel like just the Steelers historically have always had a decent rush defense. Justice Hill could be a smart play this week,
Oh,
but
yeah.
he's really touchdown dependent.
Yeah, I think he's a good little stash too. You're just really trying to figure out what's going to happen in this backfield because the Ravens would like to use their running backs. Right now, it's kind of been everywhere. And Justice has been kind of on and off the field a little bit. So if he can get a little bit more healthier, he would definitely take over. I think Gus Edwards, who's currently the lead right now. My next one is Mr. Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice, baby.
Ooh, yeah.
I want to get that Kansas City wide receiver because right now Sky Moore is Travis Kelce. If you watched him this week, what happened? He got injured, got sidelined. He's been a little bit on and off the field. I think this team is completely different without him, and they're going to need someone to step up. And then you look at everybody. Is Kadarius Toney going to step up? I don't know about you. I mean, this is way back, but I'm still thinking about that Week 1 Lions game where he's dropping every damn pass. I mean, he still hasn't done anything since. So you're trying to figure out who's going to step up. I think they talked about a little bit of the Watson guy. He's not bad, but I really think Rashee Rice, the rookie coming in, I think he's been doing really good. He's already got a couple touchdowns, and I want to say he scored this week as well. So, or last week, I mean. Just go ahead and pick him up. Get a little bit there. Mahomes is going to spread it around, but you got a chance for a touchdown with him, so I like him.
Yeah, and another rookie you could pick up this next coming week is Josh Downs for the Colts. I know
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson got hurt, but actually Josh Downs has performed better with Minshew at the helm,
Yeah.
and that could be because he has a little more experience throwing the ball, maybe
Yeah.
more poise in the backfield than
Yeah.
say Anthony Richardson. But Josh Downs has been solid for a rookie this year. I mean, he's put up 16 points, 6 last week, 14 points the week before. He's outperformed rookie standards by a lot. So look to him this week. If you're on, maybe someone is on a bye this week, you need to pick someone up for a flex spot. Josh Downs could be your man.
Yeah, definitely pay attention to that because AR came out with a shoulder injury, and you saw this week he ended up scoring over 15 points. When Minshew's in there, he's scoring. So if Minshew was a starter next week, definitely want to slide him in, possibly to like a flex spot and see exactly what happens because they're going to pass him more. And now you got JT back, so his offense is going to get a little bit more balance, and that's going to even help these wide receivers even more. So definitely buy into the rookies. Now, my next person I'm going to say is a QB that you might want to pick up off waiver wires if he is still there, and that's Mr. Sam Howell.
Sam Howell.
Yes, he is right now QB6. If you did not already realize it, and he has.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you look it up right now, he is QB6 in fantasy. This is for PPR 12-man leagues, and he's currently sitting on our waiver wire. So I kind of want to scoop him up, especially if I'm trying to figure out. Okay, this past weekend, like I had a Herbert that was out, so I put CJ in. So if you're someone coming in this next week, you got a QB who's on bye, and Sam Howell is sitting there. Try to scoop him. He's going against Atlanta, and Atlanta doesn't have really a scary defense as far as what we've seen. QBs have been able to pass on him. CJ was able to pass on them. So I think it could be a good pickup considering the arsenal of wide receivers that they do have. And Commanders' defense is kind of mid, so they're going to have to pass. So I like Sam Howell as far as a waiver wire stream.
Okay, that might be good, especially if your QB's on bye. That might be a good little pickup because a lot of people probably, especially if you're in a league where people don't really know kind of off names, they only know like brand names, like maybe like a Stafford or somebody else back there, like a Garoppolo or somebody. That might be a good one to pick up because maybe people don't know who Sam Howell is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Curtis Samuel is my next one. I'm going to say
He's pass catchers, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, boy. He looks like he's rostered like in 14.7% of leagues. So he's not really rostered all that much, but if you need a flex play, he might be your go-to guy because he has recorded or he has not recorded fewer than 6 fantasy points this year in a single game. In his past 2 games, he scored 18.
Yeah.
So look to him, and it's like Sam Howell, like you said, to kind of piggyback off that. Sam Howell is spreading the ball around. I think
Yes.
his target share is like at 16% or something, while Terry McLaurin's is like 18%, and he's in a last year of his contract, so he might be looking to that might boost him to either try to re-sign or try to sign somewhere else,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that might boost his performance a tad.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch these games with Sam Howell playing, I mean, he's slinging it around. So, I mean, it's between him and Scary Terry, and then another tight end we will bring into this later
Yes.
segment. But yeah, we're kind of high on some of these commanders, and it's just because they like to sling and they like to throw. And as a fantasy manager who is in a PPR league, that's kind of what you're wanting to find. You want to find as many receptions, as many big plays as possible, and that's what you're getting. I think Samuel too. He scored a touchdown this past weekend as well.
Yep.
So yeah, that'd be a good pickup. And my next one will be a tight end, and I talked about him last week, and I'm going to talk about him again because he got double digits this week, outperforming Mr. Kyle Pitts, Jonnu Smith.
Ooh.
Pick him up. Pick him up if you want to stream him, because if you need a tight end who's struggling, pick him up. He will get you at least enough points to cover enough if you're playing someone else's streaming, or if you're going against like a Kelsey or a Hawkinson or something. At least you're going to put up some decent amount of points to kind of hang up there, you know. Because I mean that's kind of how it is right now with the whole tight end situation. It's really just trying to hang with the people who have Hawkinson and Kelsey that week and try to like kind of counteract whatever happens there.
Yeah. The last one I got for you, and we could both kind of agree on this, is Logan Thomas at the tight end
Yeah.
spot. He's he had a really good week this past week. I mean, the Bears defense is meh, but he could be good with Sam Howell spreading the ball around. He might be a good solid play this week, especially if your tight
Yeah.
end's on bye or something.
Yeah, I mean, like, and when we're looking at these guys, y'all need to pay attention. So when we're channeling in on the Commanders, we're channeling them because one, they have a bad defense, okay, and then second, well, now like you look online, Sam Howell is 6 overall as a QB, so he's passing it. They're throwing it around, and they have a decent running back in Robinson, and they got Gibson too, pass catching, but they have like elite wide receivers. I mean, Scary Terry I would consider elite. Jahan Dotson's been he hasn't been really that guy this year, but I think it's because Sam hasn't been throwing to him. But Curtis Samuel stepped up even more than Jahan this year, and LT he's been doing his thing too. So we're trying to find situations where it's going to be positive game script for these people, and that's where a lot of these Commanders it seems to end up finding for them. They're getting behind games, they're having to come back. You know, they're not really leading a whole lot. So I think that could definitely be good. And my last one, I will say, this is a complete stash. If you have Kyron Williams, pick up Ronnie Rivers, because Kyron Williams might not be able to hold that whole 100% carry rate throughout the whole entire season, and something's eventually going to bust, whether if it's him or someone on him, I don't know. Something's going to happen. So pick up Ronnie Rivers because he is the next guy in line, and you're already seeing what's happening to Kyron, and this can happen exactly to him. He showed, too, that he can be explosive when he gets the ball. So, yeah, just give him a little bit of love. Yeah, so if you made it to this point, that has been all of our players. Is that all of your players, Mr. Skaggs?
That's all mine.
That's all mine. So we are dialed in. Hopefully you are dialed in. And if you made it to this point, be sure to like, subscribe, thumbs down, thumbs up, report us, whatever you want to do. Get in there and fucking turn it up, baby. Because we're Rethink Reality and we're here dialed in. And we'll see you in the next one.